Peasant Productions presents the Math of ESP, Occupy International Space Station as well. Why it works even if you don't believe in it. The Math of ESP. I got a real interesting question I'm going to put out to all you people out there. Do you understand what I'm talking about here? A little note to myself. Benefits of religion and governments which build monuments to themselves. What would happen, do you think, if instead of, we'll pick on the easy one, Donald Trump and the U.S. government making a real big military parade and having millions of dollars spent and probably billions of dollars worth of equipment rolling down a center street to show off how mightily they can kill things? What do you think would happen for the rest of the homeless people? Regardless of whether they're legal or illegally in the United States, what do you think anywhere, I mean, we'll take the bottom end of it, okay? $7 million. $7 million US. Instead of going to an egotistical parade, it was used for food and housing and warmth and medicines, cleaning up the wounds on some of these people that are living out there, giving them some dental and all that. That'd be a really big difference, huh? Now, what do you think would be the difference in the world if instead of having every country on this planet have Christian and Catholic boxes of rocks called churches, or boxes of wood in some cases, or whatever they use, but boxes of building material that are simply places to get you to come in and give them money, gold, silver, whatever you've got. Think about that. Instead of spending all of that money they get and saying that you have to come inside their beautiful, special little worship buildings, what do you think would happen if every last penny that this religion of Christianity, Catholicism got, they actually spent on the parishioners and the people involved in living on the planet they claim they're here to help? Yeah. The Vatican, one of the richest countries in the world. And do check into it. The Vatican is its own country, folks. It is not a part of Italy's government. It is on land inside of Italy. It is officially declared its own country. It has its own mail service. It has its own military, which it uses from Switzerland. And all of that. Okay, it's its own country. And yet it produces no products except, hot air, I mean, I'm sorry, what's in there that you can take out and do anything with? If you buy that book for 10 cents or you buy that book for $10 billion, what's in that book that you can use to do anything with other than walk out and do the same thing they did, which is be a preacher of a bunch of malarkey and fancy stories and funny stuff? And to give you an idea, I had a guy the other day on one of my video channels start talking about how, you don't know anything. There's evidence of Moses crossing the Red Sea and all of that, and here's photographs of chariot wheels underneath. And I go through there and I look at one of the photographs, and I actually put it up on the replies back to the guy. You have a picture of a set of chariot wheels underwater that happened, as he said, 3,500 years ago. That according to what I've read, the Jewish Moses thing was supposed to be about 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, because the world was created 6,000 years ago. Here he is telling me that this is supposed to have been there for 3,500 years. And the first thing I notice is that, there's this object in the water, and then in front of that is this golden set of chariot wheels. And you can literally see the point of the bottom of the chariot wheels in the air. Yeah, 3,500 years at the bottom of the Red Sea, and a solid gold set of chariot wheels and axle are floating above algae, whatever, that's supposed to be growing on it. Yeah, the guy had absolutely no clue about photoshopping fake photographs. I'm a person who has dealt with fake photographs and looking at fake photographs that go all the way back into, I believe, the mid-1800s. I have used camera equipment that is well over 100 years old. I have been in and around museums. I have been in and around newspapers. I have worked for newspapers. I have worked for museums. Okay? So I am very much aware of what an antique thing looks like. I have been in and around oceans and sailing and scuba diving. So I know what an object found in water looks like. I know what a photograph underwater looks like. I have underwater photographer friends and connections and whatever. Okay? So this is the kind of illogics that these people have. This is the stuff they put forward. And yet this person will spend his entire life running around saying, oh no, it's real, it's real, it's real. What if he took all of that money and just applied it to putting his brain in thinking mode? Look at what's going on around him. Realize that maybe he should go out and look at what photography is, understand what Photoshop is. And I told him, hey, I started teaching Photoshop in 1996. Yeah, 24 years ago. Okay? I got 24 years of using Photoshop. I got another 20 years behind that of working in wet darkrooms, where I did what we called back then sandwich work, where you take 2 or more negatives and you make one print. Okay? It's a really sad thing for you people to sit there and run around going, oh, it's Photoshop, it's fake, it's brand new, it's never been done before. 1800s, there was a couple of little girls who cut out paper drawings of little fairies, and they put them on plants and stuff and took pictures of them, and then they tried to tell the world that they were real. And to this day, yes, there are people who absolutely swear these 2 little girls literally did go out and photograph pixies. If you look at it, you can see it's a flat paper drawing. But there are people who swear that those are real pixies, real little fairies. There was really an enchanted garden there. Yeah. So, think about it, okay? Town I'm in, the people right now, the tourists have basically left. Okay? This town, I have talked to, I think something like 6 to 10 people now. In every case, I have sat there and said, hey, I'm a business expert. I understand how to create business. I understand how to keep businesses going. And I understand, how to create product, create market, create customer, the whole entire realm of it. I am an old-fashioned entrepreneur. Okay, I am not the new we found and said, oh gosh, I just borrowed 20 bucks from Daddy and I started a business. I'm an entrepreneur. Okay, no. I'm way old-style entrepreneur. I can handle anything from sweeping up the floor to being the CEO. It makes no difference to me. It has to be done, and I'll see to it gets done. Okay? These people are running around telling me that they would rather steal 10 pesos from me so that they can go buy a 10 peso taco than have me help them figure out how to give themselves 100 pesos a day. Yeah. So they're very illogical. But they are 100% Christian, Catholic, never change, never learn, never question authority. And anytime you get money, if you steal money from somebody, just make sure you run into this church over here and deposit 10% of that money. The church then forgives you for being a thief, and you get to go steal again because you've been forgiven for stealing. 6 to 9 million pilgrims come to this town per year. I estimate it at somewhere around 500 million pesos plus per year in a town, and all of that money leaves here and goes to the Vatican. They don't do squat here in town. Okay, people are on the streets everywhere. The defective mutations from telling people to inbreed and inbreed and inbreed and keep breeding after you're way too old to be having children, because it's against God to think about what you're doing and use some kind of birth control. Yeah. A town that is so poor, they steal 10 pesos. 1 billion pesos a year to the Vatican. What's the Vatican do with it? They build beautiful gold idols and icons. Oh, that reminds me. I gotta get this real quick. Hang on. According to the story here, this object here is inside this. This is the doll that a peasant woman or a middle-class woman brought on a ship from Europe here. And then they discovered that, oh, it's got their saint in it. This is their saint. Okay? Well, if you look at that, it's a gold and porcelain Florence, Italy doll. If the gold on that is about 10 times what any peasant family would ever expect to have in its life, how the heck did a peasant child come across with a little doll? Yeah. But you see, that's the lies they tell everybody, and it's in plain public view. I walked into this church, put on a big camera lens, and shot the sucker. What do you think it's worth? Maybe $2-3 million in gold? The heck with whether or not it's a doll. The heck with the fact that it's 300 years old. I'm talking about just the gold. Okay? Nonetheless, that church over there will sit there and negate all of this, allow all of this, and teach all of these people that it's better to produce defective children and lie, cheat, and steal. And this is one of something like 10 or 12 of these cities here in Mexico. So what? Mother Mary's in my room too. Here, she's here. She exists. Lucy is an entity that they claim is their spirit. Okay, Santos, La Señorita de San Juan de los Logos. Her original name is Spirituality Lucy. Lucy, okay, has been on the North American continent at the very least for slightly over 1 billion years. How much money do they take? How much money do you spend on monuments to presidents, monuments to, bombings, monuments to killing, monuments to some judge that, that everybody thinks was really good when he was taking money out the back door, whatever. Whether the person was honest or dishonest. What do you build a monument for when you got people dying in a thing? You got people on the streets and you want to sit there and worry about whether or not the little old thing over there for the really ultra rich is beautiful. So, like I said, you people need to figure out what logic is. You need to sit down and understand that you're being told by a system of religions, regardless of whether or not it's this one, that goes all the way back to at least Egypt, Samaria, India, of religious philosophy gods being made out of royal families by the use of religion. Ah, yes, this is a royal breeding ground. You got all this you need. You got all this you're going to have to deal with no matter what in the next... you're dealing with it right now. It's happening to your world, okay? You can't stop it. And these people are taking all your money for prayers.